Stand for our flag salute. We'll take a moment of silence, please. Please have the roll call of members.
Clifford Adams.
Here.
Patty Anderson. Carrie Armagos. Here. Wes Baum.
Here.
Bob Best.
Here.
John Berg.
Here.
Brady Fight.
Here.
And Todd Gallagher.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Can I have a motion to waive and approve the official meeting minutes from February 16th?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstention? Motion carries. Moving into public participation, we have Alicia Beadle with district-wide communication.
Thank you. I know my last name's a little scary to say, but it is Beetle, so I'm proud. But I am very thankful to be here with you guys today. Hopefully we start off on a good foot for the evening. And I truly hope you guys are doing well. Today, I am proposing a new position for the school. I'd really like us to consider what I have to say, just to get the conversation rolling and to get that ball moving, and you guys can take away some points that I make today. Now, again, my name is Alicia Beadle, and my family and I, we actually just moved to the area. We moved here in October, and we've been enjoying it. We love Parker, that's where we are. We love Parker, we love Foxburg. We love it small, and the school is really, it's been impressive. We really do like it. I've got a first grader who's in the school, and then I have a coming up kindergarten student. So we are really in the thicket of the beginning of our journey as a family. I did want to bring up, though, that I'm a very involved parent. So within the first month, I'm already on the PTO, and I'm already substituting aid for the elementary school so far, but I can also do the high school. And part of what I do as a new parent in the school is I have to ask kind of like the hard questions. I don't know the school, I don't know the people, I don't know the teachers. So one of the things I would ask people that I meet, parents, neighbors, community, staff, is I would ask, what's the worst part about this school? Am I in the right place for my family? What I got was actually the same answer, and it was the communication. Truthfully, I loved the answer. If communication is our problem, that is me written all over it. I love communication things, and it's something that can be fixed, and that is what I want to propose, is this position that can really enhance the communication for the school. This position, I'm calling it a communication support position. It would have 3 pillars. It would have family, it would have staff, and community. Currently, in our culture, I would say communication has changed quite a lot since I was in high school. Now we want it quickly, now we want it clearly, and we are getting it from different channels. Currently at the school, what I see is that we have staff that are balancing teaching and supporting students, and now we have this new expectation of communication with this new generation of parents that aren't quite reaching or meeting that standard. I want to make it so clear that the purpose of this rule is not to create more communication, but just to make communication more clear and more consistent and more accessible. This rule would support digital communication. It would organize across all the platforms, which you have a lot, which is fantastic. You have social media, you have Class Dojo, you have a website, all those things that are there, they just need to have a little oomph of organization, if you would call it that. And that's what this communication support person would do. It would be that puzzle piece, that bridge between PTO and teachers, or that bridge between teachers and staff, or teachers and parents to teachers. The biggest impact that I think that this rule would have would be with families. I would say without a good communications rule, you are having families that miss important updates. You have staff that feel overwhelmed. And in the community, they don't always see the incredible things that are happening in our school. We want our community to have pride about our school. We want them to know that we're transparent, and we want to build strong relationships. The same goes for staff, where if they feel overwhelmed because now they have a high standard of posting pictures or posting updates of what they're doing and newsletters and all these different things, it's not in their job description to be a social media manager. And that's something just to take into consideration. Now, I think now is a good time to consider just the rule, because Foxburg is growing. You guys have a resort coming in. I think it is a fancy spa. That's pretty fun. And that's gonna bring a lot more people in. The first thing they're gonna look at is our website and our social media. If you're feeling a little uncomfortable, I think we need to talk about what we can do to enhance that. What's the aesthetic? Are we proposing to the public our values? Do your students, teachers, oh no, sorry, do your students' parents know what our values are? And I think that's really important to ask, because when I ask, I do get the answer that parents feel a little blind. They don't really know what's going on with their students. The teachers are fantastic. We can reach out to the teachers through Class Dojo. They respond real quick. That's fantastic. But there is a gap between teachers and parents and morale. I think morale can be worked on, because parents don't necessarily feel welcomed to be involved. And that's nobody's fault. But there's no parent-teacher conferences. There's no thing that's inviting parents to say, hey, they might need my support. They might need my help. And I think that's just something that this rule would really improve on. Now, I did want to leave you guys with just, I made these little puzzle pieces. This is something that, it's a passion of mine. I mentioned that communication is fun for me. I'm currently a social media manager. It's something that I do, website design, all those different things. So I didn't want to leave without you guys having these puzzle pieces. They have a QR code on them. I'm just going to pass them to Sarah, and then we'll just, one at a time there. And if there's extra, just go ahead and give those back to me.
Thank you.
But I did want to leave you guys with that. This rule, it wouldn't need to be a full-time position. We wouldn't have to start and flip over the whole school. We could start gently and calmly if we want to get an aesthetic with your Facebook even, and just to kind of get things more accessible and family-friendly. I think that would be a really good start. And but that is all. Anybody have any questions or comments or any open discussion?
Where did you move from?
Ohio. Yeah. We lived in Manaway. It was between Youngstown and Cleveland. It's a good question.
All right, well, thank you for coming by, and thank you for the feedback. We definitely appreciate it, and we'll take this into consideration as we start building our budget for the next year.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Next in our presentations, we have Maddie Myers, our student representative.
So, my apologies, I did forget to, oh, wait. Is this the March one? If it's not, I can just try and go off of memory. Okay, so I guess I sent Aaron the wrong one. My apologies, that's on me. So for student council, some of the things for March that we've been doing are, we are trying to attempt to plan, not macho volleyball. My apologies, sorry. A powder puff. Normally it is held in the fall, but due to football field renovations and track renovations, we're trying to plan it maybe for spring. In the art department, there we go, thank you. We're also planning our annual Easter egg hunt competition between the grades. In our art department, the students that have painted paintings of local landscapes for the auditorium, Miss Mortimer is going to put them into the Congressional Art Competition. For our sports, our spring sports started off on March 3rd, and junior high track will be starting on Wednesday. My apologies, I have the wrong date there. Teacher and class spotlight. Our senior trip is kicking off on March 18th, which is Wednesday. We're going down to Orlando, Florida for a week. We did have the lifting meet organized by Colvin Elliott and Mr. Wagner on Saturday, March 14th. The end of quarter 3 is Friday, March 20th, with an early dismissal too, as well. And then on March 2nd, Mr. Krautbauer took the Chief of Science students to ALIC at Allegheny College for the day too, as well. Do you guys have any questions? Yeah, go ahead.
What's the chief of science?
So those are our science officers throughout the grades. Honestly, I'll give you my the whole truth. I don't know much about it because I'm not part of that group. But Senora Paz did give me this information to present to you guys because she could not be here tonight. So, but yes, it's very science and STEM organized and everything related. So there's that. You're welcome. Do you guys have any other questions? All right. Thank you guys. Have a good evening.
Next we'll hear from Nancy Ronsley, our project manager with the update for the school year.
Thank you. I am Nancy Roundsley. I am the project manager for Macero. I can manage our IT. So this will be my first update. My goal will be that I'll be providing once a month, come with a presentation just to give you an update on the project. Okay, so when I first got started, big thing was getting, Procore is our project management software. So getting all of the information, doing a major download of what's been going on, what the plan specifications, pay apps, change orders, all of the project information is now in Procore. It is a web-based software. The district has been given access to it, the plans, photos, all that. I do a daily log when I'm on site, take pictures, so that's all been set up. I also put together a schedule. This is using the contractor's information, but as I'm there each day I'm there, I will be providing updates into the schedule. It's a software that this is P6, which is a software that I'm familiar with using. The contractors have provided the information, so the dates associated to this schedule are all from the contractor, but it's just a means for me to then monitor, making sure that contractors are arriving, doing the work as they promised, and then addressing things and they are not. So I will continue to update the schedule on a weekly basis. So getting into actual work, my first day here, they were doing painting. This is your podcast room on the left and the sound room on the right. This is also those spaces from the corridor and inside the auditorium. You'll see that they've painted, there'll be, in the beige areas, there's sound panels that will be going there. They have stripped the stage floor. And they have installed the countertops as well as they actually put the roller coloring doors in today. So they were on site today doing that. So this is from inside the auditorium looking towards those spaces. Last week they installed your HVAC system units that are in the podcast and the sound room. And for the past couple of weeks, your electricians have been on site doing rough-ins as well as the cable. So all of the data cabling that has been run, or they're working on running that. You can see the, let's see if we can, so this is the rack on the left side of the stage, just running all of the different cabling for all of your sound systems, speakers, and whatnot. They've also been working on rigging. It's kind of hard to see, but all of the things that all the all the theatrical lights will be installed on, all of them going up. The projection screen, is ready to be installed. And this one's really hard to see. I'm gonna try to use the pointer here. There are actual bars along on these beams also that are rigging for light fixtures and whatnot for the theatrical lighting. Projector's been installed. Both sets of speakers, right and left of stage. And then overall progress, this is just something I will be doing just as we're going along. There's a lot of work. They got to complete the electrical rough-ins, data cabling. They have an exterior door to finish replacing. They have a little bit of painting left to complete. They will start floor prep, the acoustical ceiling in the podcast and sound rooms, and then also the light fixtures that sit into that grid. Wood paneling, wall coverings, all of that's coming up in the next few weeks. We also got word that the delivery of the auditorium seating will be the seats will be arriving this week. And then for the roof inspection, we don't want any work starting on the roof until we have the manufacturer come and do a proper inspection. Because your installation stopped and then nothing's been done for the past few months, we don't want the installation to start without your manufacturer looking at your roof, determining any areas that need to be remediated so that I can document that, and then ultimately the installer, Triangle Roofing, will be required to fix anything before they then finish the roof. They've indicated they only need about 3 good days, but there also has to be a certain temperature that they need in order to start that work. So we want to make sure they're going to have 3 days in a row that they can do the work ultimately, but we also want to make sure that anything that needs to be fixed prior to them starting again is documented so that we can make sure that is done. As far as the current schedule, unfortunately, our biggest issue is the light fixtures and materials from VLS, which also are primarily your house lighting. And unfortunately, that is above all where the seats and the flooring and all of that takes place. The last email that I received said that it's going to be about a 4-week time frame before these will be released and to be delivered. We're working on trying to push to make that improve, but with that all in mind, we are pushing into mid-May. And that is my report, but I'll be happy to answer any questions anyone has. Yes, sir.
Seats were coming this week, the
Yes.
auditorium seats. I mean, they won't be installed.
They will not be installed until the flooring is down. The reason for them to be, they've had them. The contractor has been storing them.
Right.
There is a cost to store, so they want to avoid any additional cost associated to storing, so they're going to bring them on site.
Where
They'll be stored in the corridor.
is there room to put them?
We think there's
Area.
enough room. We have indicated that they have to protect the floor. They said it's about 25 pallets, but they have to put some protection down. I've already put them on notice that they need to protect the floors before the chairs come in.
That'll be Burns, is it? Bring
Burns
those.
will be doing that, yes. Yeah, and the boxes can be stacked. Ideally, your quarters are quite wide. In my sitting in, that is typically where I'm sitting each day when I'm here. There is room. I believe we can get them all in, and then it avoids any additional costs associated with storage.
Right. And then you said the roof inspection, the manufacturer will be out and do the inspection before any additional work starts.
Yes,
Will you be on
yes.
there with that, or?
Yes, I required that, I've been working with Dan from Garland to make sure that inspection occurs when I'm on site, so I can also document what is what is stated and take pictures. Yes, sir.
Was the roof work / inspection part in scope to the project at the
So your manufacturer has to continually do inspections. They have to warrant your roof. You have a 30-year warranty for the roofing, and so they want to make sure that the roof is installed to their specifications and requirements. So they have to do periodic inspections. When I came on site my first day here, we were up on the roof, we were looking at the roof. James indicated some of the areas that he is concerned about. I then said, I don't want any work happening until we have the manufacturer back. They need to do a proper inspection report. It needs to be documented before Triangle comes back to actually perform the work. And then ultimately, we'll have it documented, and then those are things I can then also check that they're being done. Any other questions? Well, I thank you all for your time. I thank you all for giving Ms. Sarah the opportunity to help you through this project. And I will be back next month to give you the next update. Thank you.
Next, we'll hear from Karen Farkas.
Good evening, Dr. McDivitt, board members, and community members. Thank you for allowing me to give a couple of different presentations this evening. First of all, I would like to share something really exciting that was brought to my attention by a missionary to Convoy of Hope. I don't know if you've ever heard when there's a major disaster that there's this huge trucks that go and deliver supplies to different places that have disasters. Well, there is also, has anyone ever heard of Convoy of Hope? You guys ever heard of it at all? No? Okay. Well, there's a rural initiative attached to that, and this missionary actually contacted me and said, we would like to partner with you and provide some summer food for your kids at AC Valley. The qualification for that is that there has to be at least 50% of your kids in the school that qualify for free or reduced lunches. And according to her records, we do. And so it's also to I know we have the Backpacks for Success going on right now. And so the nurse was pretty excited to hear that this could be a possibility for us. It would be for a month during the summer. And we would do it once a week for a month. And it would include food and groceries for 125 students, ages 4 to 18. And all we're asking for is if the school would allow us to store the food in one of the rooms here on the premises and also distribute it from the school. So our church, Chapel on the Hill, would be the ones that would actually come and distribute the food. We also would ask that AC Valley would provide the communication to the parents stating when the food would be given out and that type of thing. So Dr. McDivitt also mentioned that I could request to use a van and possibly a trailer to pick up the food. We would have to pick it up at the end of May, beginning of June, depending on the timing. And so if we could use a school vehicle, due to the fact that I am an employee of the school, I've been working at AC Valley the last 3 to 4 years as a substitute, teacher's aide, the secretary, and as a substitute teacher. So I enjoy working in the school. I'll do all age groups, and I've been in the office quite a bit lately. But anyway, I do appreciate being part of the school, and we'd love to help out if we could. So that is my first thing that I wanted to present. I'm sorry, I forgot to tell you to turn the page, Aaron. There you go. So here's some data just saying how many kids actually do suffer from hunger in America. And so, I mean, it's not like the whole summer, but at least it's something. So can you agree that it would be a good idea to help the kids an extra month in the summer? That's what I'm asking. Okay. So that's presentation number 1. The second one, and just a side note, I forgot to mention, I am also pastor's wife at Chapel on the Hill. My husband Tim is over there. We've been at Chapel for almost 6 years, And I recently took on a job for Keystone Family Alliance. And Keystone Family Alliance is not to be confused with Keystone Family Smiles, which we have those guys coming into school and helping with the kiddos. But Keystone Family Alliance is new across the state of Pennsylvania. We're slowly moving it across the state. And I just got hired at the end of May to be a coordinator for Venango County. My goal is to bridge the gap between CYS and church because there is a desperate need in the area of foster care. There are 14,000 kids in foster care in Pennsylvania. Crazy. And so we know that being a CYS worker is a thankless task. It's very hard. And so we want to encourage them, help them however we can. But how does that relate to the schools? Well, I've subbed in schools for many, many years in Colorado, New Mexico, here. And everywhere you go, I think the biggest issue that the teachers face is behavioral issues. How many of you guys could agree? I mean, I know our principals could agree. The behavioral issues are the biggest thing. And it's like the teacher's frustration is if only, like, if I didn't have this kid, my class would be so quiet, so much more quiet, or so much better, or whatever. And the whole idea is what's causing the behavioral issues. And so long story short, my husband and I adopted 2 daughters. One was through CYS. We got them at birth and 2 months old. And we thought, hey, we got them at babies, everything should be good, right? It should be a piece of cake, no problem. But we found out later there's still a lot of emotional issues involved. And so one, we had behavioral issues right away, the other one later in teenage years, but it doesn't matter. No matter what, these kids have trauma. So part of my job as a coordinator for Venango County is to educate, motivate, and equip. Because I raised my kids without having the knowledge of what trauma-based training is all about, I didn't know what I was doing. I mean, most of us don't know what we're doing when we start out parenting anyway, right? But when you do with adopted kids or kids with trauma, it's a whole different ballgame. And so I recently found out about something called TBRI, and this training is called Hope for the Journey, and we propose to do a training here at AC Valley on a Saturday from 9 to 4, free lunch provided, and it's a video training, so I would just facilitate that training. I did one in the fall, last fall in Venango County Training Center. But what this does is it teaches what we call TBRI, and you can go to the next slide. TBRI is trust-based relational intervention. And I know we have educators here. You guys, I don't know if you've heard of this before or not, but it is a life-changing way to do issues with kids, like how you deal with the behavior issues. I just wanted to bring up one example. TBRI originated in Texas by a lady called Karen Purvis, and she actually challenged a school in Texas and said, hey, you know, they came to her and said, we don't have a whole lot of money, we don't know exactly what to do, but what can I do? We have so many behavior issues in our school. How many of you can attest to the fact that behavior issues are going higher and higher and higher? We're having kids in ISS even in elementary school, and it's getting worse. And it's like, why are we having so many behavioral issues? But she said, if you do these 3 things, try these 3 things for 1 year and see what happens. And this is based on this training here at TBRI. She said, number 1, every 2 hours, make sure they're getting a drink of water. Did you know that kids that have faced trauma, they forget. They don't even realize that they're thirsty. And dehydration can cause a lot of issues. So every 2 hours, and you might think, oh, they carry water bottles everywhere they go. But some of these kids, they don't think about taking a drink of water. So every 2 hours, make sure they're getting a drink. Every 2 hours, make sure they get a protein snack. They come to school, they skip breakfast, they're hungry. That affects your brain, right? And this is all based on what goes on in your brain. And then thirdly, make sure every 2 hours that they're doing some sort of upper body exercise. It can even be rock, paper, scissors, shoot, something where they're moving their upper body. It could be a song, whatever, but make sure they're moving. And so these 3 things the school in Texas did, and by the end of the year, the behavior issues went way down. it changed the way their school did things. And so we offer not only this training in April, but we also offer it to school districts. Our equippers can come in and actually provide a training if you would like them to. This one that I do, I provide it for free through my work. That one is one that has a cost associated with it, but it's also, I know Brookville School District did one last year. And it's incredible, it's amazing stuff, and it's all about how the left brain and right brain are not connected with these kids with trauma and how we can change that. So I just am asking if I could use the school building for a training. I put a Saturday in April. I'm hoping to do it on April the 11th, if that works on the school calendar. And so it would require using probably this room or another room that would have the equipment to do so. All right, and that's it. Does anyone have any questions about either thing? I have. Yes?
Who would participate in this training?
In the training?
Yeah.
The training is actually, that's a good point. The training is open to teachers, but it's also open to community. It's open to parents. It's open to foster care workers, anybody that works with kids that have had trauma. It is an excellent training for anyone that works with kids. And I have a guest speaker coming tomorrow night to an event I have in Oil City, and she said, traditional parenting works for some kids. TBRI works for all kids because it's about connection. And when my little one was giving me all kinds of hassles, the only thing I knew was to set her in timeout. That's all I knew how to do. But these kids need connection. And so it's not about putting them over here so you can have some peace and quiet. It's about making some sort of connection. And even a piece of bubble gum can help with that. Did you know that? A piece of bubble gum can help with connection. Left side to right side. It's crazy, but it's really, really cool, the things that you can learn in it. Anybody else?
Is there a charge for the program to the public or teachers or?
Actually, for the one in April that I offer called Hope for the Journey, it is underwritten by Keystone Family Alliance, and which is why I'm doing the fundraiser tomorrow night, Wednesday night actually in Oil City. If anyone is interested in coming, you're all invited, but it will be at the Oil Region Alliance, and we're doing a free dinner and raising awareness and funds for that. But it is underwritten by Keystone Family Alliance, so that's how we can provide that training. The one that is offered for teachers, specifically just for teachers, they ask that you pay the mileage and certain fees for that, and that's all online on our website. So keyfam.org is where you can find any further information. There is a lot of resources for teachers and also free resources for parents as well on our website. Anybody else? Any questions about the summer feeding program at all? All right, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you for that. Next, we'll hear from Logan Green with new marching band uniforms.
Good evening. Before I get started, I'm going to pass around the sample uniform for you guys to look at real quick.
Thank you.
So to introduce myself, my name is Logan Green. I'm the band director here at AC Valley. I teach 5th grade all the way up to 12th grade, everything band related in the school district. A little bit of history about the uniforms before we actually get started. I've been working very closely with Dr. David McDivitt, Dr. Jordan, the superintendent at Union, the principal at Union, and the band director at Union about these uniforms for probably the last year or so. So this has been a long time coming. The band director at Union has presented to his school board last month, so now I'm presenting to you guys almost the exact same information. I don't know, did they get the handout?
Yes.
Okay, there is a handout if you do want to follow along. I'm going to start with my proposal as to what the band director at Union and I are presenting. The Union School District and the Allegheny-Clarion Valley School District purchased new combined marching band uniforms of a quality that will last 10 to 15 years. If both schools purchase 100 uniforms total, we would have 40 uniforms for each school with a surplus of about 25% for different sizes for students that might need those. Split between UHS and ACV, that would be 50 uniforms we need to purchase for each school district. The AC Valley uniforms currently that we use are 20 years old. My records show that they were bought in 2006. Union is reaching their recommended age limit of 10 years. They bought theirs in 2017. If you do a quick Google search, 7 to 10 years is normally how long a uniform will last before we need to replace them. We're on year 20 at AC Valley, so I think we're way more overdue than we should be. Some issues with the current uniforms we have. Buttons are coming loose. There's a lot of parts that are just missing from the uniforms. Our Shakos we didn't even wear this year because we don't have enough Shakos to wear with our uniform, which are the hats. And the pants are starting to rip at the bottom because we have to hem them every single year and get them sent out. Some issues with the current AC Valley design. It's a back zip, and if you notice, that's a front zip. Makes a big difference. It takes the current student about 10 to 15 minutes to put on a uniform with all the components, and then you add the back zip. They can't do it themselves. They have to go ask a friend to zip up the back of their uniform because they literally cannot reach it. We also have overlays currently that we don't wear, that we did not wear this year. They're called gauntlets. They go here, they Velcro. That takes time. There's also a sash that goes across the front of it. That adds time, and it also adds wear to the buttons because the buttons have friction with them from the sash. The joint design. The AC Valley and UHS marching band members support having this combined design. We took a short poll just by vote if they like this design, and everyone was all in favor of it from the students. We are working to unify the look of the uniform. We're a combined marching band, and one of the things that I've stressed since I've gotten here is we are not two separate marching bands. We're one group of kids, so we need to be represented in that. It's not AC Valley, it's not Union. We are one collective marching band. Given the timelines above, I do think now is the best time if we are going to consider a combined marching band uniform. We're way overdue, and Union is coming up on their due time for their uniform, so now would be the time to consider a combined design. This new design is simple and slick. Balance is the blue, the white, and the gold accent from the Union colors. Absolutely no overlays. So what you're looking at is what they would be wearing on the top. Fewer buttons, so less friction. So that means we have to hem less. Most of our uniforms up at the high school right now have gone through some type of hemming process on our buttons. Blue sleeves, our current uniforms have some type of white sleeve and they get very, very dirty. Front zip, which is fantastic. And let's say we have a student that eats a hot dog and spills ketchup all over their uniform. Has happened before. Currently, we have to get that dry cleaned. Now, these are machine washable and dry clean. So we can just throw it in a machine wash and it will machine wash it for us. And then we would still get it dry cleaned at the end of the season. Button hemming for sleeves and pants. We no longer have to pay someone to hem our uniforms. There are buttons on the inside that will hem the sleeves and hem the pants, and all we have to do is just iron it so it's a nice flush look. I am going to have, real quick, Alyssa Ritchie come on up, because I do want her to demonstrate how easy this is to put the uniform on. She's wearing the jumpsuit pants that would go with it, royal blue, and then she's going to put on the top. This process would require 2 people and about 10 minutes of time currently. So it's a front zip, so they have the zips up the front, and then there's 3 buttons, so that way it looks nice and flush. "55 seconds. That's all that took. Saves so much time. Now, some things that about the design that I want to talk about while she's standing here. and I agree with this one. Union had concerns about having AC Valley up in the top left and UHS at the bottom right. Here's why. If the student would sit down, the UHS is covered. So one thing that we're looking to change about this design is just centering both of them, so that way whenever they sit down, both schools are equally represented on the design that we have. Easy fix, would not cost any more money to do. Thank you, you're good. Let's talk about the cost. This is on the back of the first page there. I have received quotes from Stanberry through CoStar. The reason that I went with Stanberry first, AC Valley uniforms are currently Stanberry, and they've lasted 20 years and are still in okay shape for 20 years old. Union's uniforms are also Stanberry, and they have been a quality product for the last 8-9 years. Total cost per uniform will be $518.30, and that would cost AC Valley roughly $25,900 with some expenses for shipping possible. So the total cost of that would be somewhere around $52,000 total between AC Valley and Union. The Union School Board, even though we went with CoStar bidding, has been pretty adamant about getting 3 separate quotes for uniforms, which has been a struggle. I've been working on this for the last month. There's realistically only 4 uniform companies that make this style of uniform anymore. So I've been in contact almost daily with all of them, and trying to get them to get me a quote is much more difficult than it should be. They have to get sketches, get it approved, get it sent over. It's a whole process. This morning at 10 a.m. I actually got a quote back, just so that you can see that the Stanberry is a quality product and it's still cheaper. So if you look here, the total for this uniform is $564.70. However, that does not include shipping or any of the extra costs. With all the additional costs, one uniform costs $614.78, which is almost $100 more for basically the exact same uniform. And that would cost AC Valley about $30,000 plus a little bit more to buy those uniforms. The timeline we're looking at, we'd really like to put this in the 26-27 budget. And something that I do want to throw out there just so that we are completely transparent. The company will take a letter of intent if this is something we are interested in moving on now. What the letter of intent is the business manager can send a letter to the company saying, yes, we are going to buy your product, but we are going to buy it after the July 1 budget starts. So they will start this process now, and they are okay not getting paid until after the July 1 fiscal year starts for the budget. If that's something that both the union and the AC Valley School Board would have to agree on and vote on if we wanted to move in that direction. The positive of that, if we moved between now and the end of the month, it's a 6-month turnaround. There is potential we could get these for the 26-27 season. And that's what we're aiming for, and that's what we'd really like. And it is a quality product, so I think it would definitely be something to consider. If we moved in July, we would not get them until December, which is after the season is finished anyway. That is all I have. Are there any questions?
Logan, do you have a time frame when the USD school board's going to vote on this?
I've not gotten a clear answer. I know they're really adamant about 3 quotes. And once they see the 3 quotes, they might move. However, with talking from the band director at Union, it does seem like they're wanting to hold until the July budget starts, is the impression that I was getting from the band director at Union.
Logan, thank you for all the work you put into it. I know we've been working closely. I know how much you care about the program, and we appreciate that.
Question, Logan.
Yeah.
Union's not willing to commit until, I guess we have 3 quotes, and then they'll, I guess they're on board with buying new uniforms. It's just they'd like to have the 3 quotes to look at and consider.
Yeah, and the impression that I got from the school board is they're in full support of the combined uniform. They just want to make sure that the money's being spent in the right places, that we're getting the best product for the money that we're spending. So we have the Stanberry quote, and now we have this band shop quote. and we really only need one more. And I think they'd be willing to move. The question is, are they willing to write that letter of intent so that we can get the process rolling earlier?
Thank you.
Hey, Logan, hey, first off, I appreciate all the work that you've done to build the band, even down through the junior high. The numbers are very impressive, what's increasing, and I know this would greatly increase morale and maybe draw a few more people even to want to come out just simply from a uniform. I do recognize that. Is there any concern from us, from you, Dr. McDevitt, that this assumes a collaboration between us and Union? And I'm a bit new coming here and wanting to understand, is there, it's a significant investment, with that there, but is there any concern that it is a collaboration?
Todd, at this time, I don't have any concerns at all. We have joint uniforms for our other athletic programs. We've replaced the football uniform several times now. Due to the fact it's a collision sport, we replace that on a regular basis. They are fully combined.
Dr. McDevitt, if I could add, I do think we're one of the only combined activities left that does not have a combined uniform.
Also, I want to add that it's been pretty much known that neither school can survive alone. So we're pretty much married to each other, and I can tell you in the meetings I've been in, they're happy and we're happy. So
We're thinking this resort's going to bring in dozens.
yeah, well, there's just been lots of talk. Is everyone happy? Yeah.
No.
Both schools are happy with the collaboration, and there's no intent on either side to dissolve that. So
Great.
we're here in the forthcoming future.
This is good perspective. Thank you.
And the co-op has been very beneficial for the students. It gives them more opportunity, more friends. It's been really great. And I think the co-op for the band has only gotten stronger over the past couple of years.
Thank you, Logan.
Yeah. Thank you.
All right, any other questions for him?
I assume you're looking for approval from us tonight. I assume that's not up for vote, but we could add it if that's something that we wanted to discuss, if it's time sensitive, so.
And that's, I can't speak for or against that, and I won't. Then the next part of that is then Union School Board would then have to vote on that as well. Yes. But if I'm speaking for it, I don't think there's anything against it if we're going to vote and approve it in July anyway.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Logan.
All right, next we'll hear from Lauren McNanny on the softball tournament trip.
Hi, everybody. We're just looking to get approval to go to Toledo, Ohio to play in a tournament. It's basically our Tennessee trip, but on a much smaller scale for a weekend. To be quite frank, I'm down the coaching staff. We haven't been able to replace Kevin Wetzel, who has been on the staff for the last few years. So with being down the coach, my assistant coach also had a C-section about 4 weeks before we would have went on the Tennessee trip. So that was kind of an unrealistic expectation to have her drive 9 hours to Tennessee 4 weeks post C-section. So unfortunately, the Tennessee trip was kind of off the record just due to some personal circumstances with the coaches. So that's another reason we're trying to push this tournament, just to give the girls that opportunity. They fundraised the money, and unfortunately, we just weren't able to make Tennessee happen this year. So like I said, basically, sorry, let me get my notes up. It's just the Tennessee trip on a smaller scale. So they would only have to miss Friday instead of a full week. So we would just go Friday to Sunday. And the setup would basically be the same. We plan to rent passenger vans. I don't have any concern for that. We drive those back and forth and all around to camps and clinics for transportation anyway, so we're used to driving those. We found an old mansion in Toledo to stay in that has 7 bedrooms, lots of bunk beds and stuff, so it would be similar to the cabins we stayed in Tennessee. I really like that aspect of having all the girls in the house. It's much easier to watch them all than them all running around a hotel, and I feel like that really promotes the team bonding, which is kind of the whole sole purpose of going on this trip. I have 16 players that are already committed to going on this trip, so that's a plus. They've already fundraised all the funds. We're not seeking any funds from the school. Our booster club has all the funds to go. Another reason is I think this would be a good low-stakes opportunity for my team this year. I only have one returning starter this year, 6 pitchers, not one of them have pitched a varsity inning, and I have 10 new players. So this would be a very good opportunity to have some low-stakes games, build some team chemistry, and not have that pressure of conference games and things like that. So give us another opportunity to also kind of get the team together and kind of figure out how the team's going to go this year. So that's pretty much the basis of the trip. We would leave Friday morning and come back Sunday night. Any questions?
All right, thank you.
What's the date?
It would be April 17th to April 20th.
All right. Any other questions for Lauren? Thank you, we appreciate it.
Thanks, Lauren.
Thank you.
Under board concerns, unless there's any objections, we'll take motions A and B together. Can I have a motion for that?
So moved.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? I'd like to thank Diane for her time on the board and her effort she put into helping better the school district. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries. Under consent agenda, unless there's any objections, we'll take letters A through M as one motion. Have a motion for that, please?
So moved.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries. Patty, can you do finance and purchase for us, please?
Sure, let's start with A through F. I'll combine those. Approval and authorization to pay bills, general fund financial report, check, payroll check register, including athletics, cafeteria finance report, activities report for February, elementary activity account, elementary yearbook activity account. So moved.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstention? Motion carries.
Cafeteria report,
Stacy's home sick this evening.
keep it. Nobody wants the sickness right now, right? So she's presented that to us in our packets, so there's the cafeteria report for people to look at. Item H, consideration to approve the invoice from Massaro CM Services LLC in the amount of $7,543.50 paid by the bond as attached. So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion?
That's just half of the first month's payment.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstention? Motion carries.
Consideration to approve advertising for an RFP for the football field project paid by the bond. So moved.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion on this?
Question. I emailed David this afternoon, and I think he mailed everyone a drawing, the most current one in the field. Question I have, the stakes up on the field, is that, the field is the playing surface, or is that in safety zone? You know.
I'll defer to James. I think he knows that better than most of us, but that was the existing field and that'll be shifted.
Yeah, I looked at it today. It shows it being shifted, and it includes the safety zone also being sodded, and then the bank and whatnot just being seated.
The stakes up there,
Those are from, I assume they're from the old.
they're from the old.
Yes. Yeah, I think they were there when we had our meeting in September, October, so.
And then the bank's gonna be to its original,
As close as from what I've seen, it's as close as possible. It's gonna be a little steep, a little bit shallower on top, and the bottom, so many feet, is gonna be a steeper slope.
So it should be a 4-to-1 slope, similar to what it was before.
Yeah.
that's what I was wondering, if put the bank back basically the way it was, shifting the field enough to accommodate that.
We've had a lot of discussion about that. Jeff, do you want to jump in and add any information?
I think I heard you right, the shift would take place going both ways, both directions. One shift would be moving it to the east 5 feet, and the other shift is to move it 15 feet to the south. And so basically, pushing it that way.
Will that give us enough safety zone on the elementary side?
That's why we didn't push it any further to the east, so that we stayed within that kind of range of the light poles without having to be too close. Would have been I think it would have been those of you that were at the meeting can probably speak to this as well, is I think the intent was to move it as far to the east as we could without running into the light poles, and try to gain as much of the bank on the west side as we could regain.
Yes, well, the bank will be back to its original.
That was the intent.
It'll be as close as possible.
Close as possible.
Yeah.
Well,
It's
the
either
slope
that
would
or the
be-
field's not done.
The slope would be back to the original, but
Yeah,
it's not
that's-
obviously the original hill.
Yeah, it's gonna be as close as possible.
I guess the reasoning, thinking is that we need to move the field a little bit further to make sure we have the bank back to its original flow.
It's not gonna work that way. With this corner here and this retention wall, without completely taking this retention wall and rebuilding it, it's,
Well, if we moved it away from this retention wall.
yeah, but if we move the field too far that way, then the field's way out of center, and then just causes more problems.
Center for the lights
Center for the lights, center for the grandstand, center for kind of everything.
is, I know we talked about doing the lights, discussion on here, are we're not replacing the poles?
That's part of the discussion.
As of right now, we're not. It was cost prohibitive to do that. So we're looking at other options, trying to partner with Central Electric potentially to see if they're interested in helping us. We are looking at purchasing new light fixtures itself to upgrade to LEDs, but as far as moving the poles, that wasn't something that we were budgeting for.
Is, those poles been inspected? I think they've been in 30 years.
Not that I'm aware of. James, do you have any record on inspections? The lights are not part of this RFP that we're voting on this evening, so, okay.
But, we needed, I didn't know whether Central Electric was looking to them to relocate the poles or just help with the installation of the lights or both.
Whatever they're willing to help with.
I think they set them originally.
I believe so.
I'm not sure what they'll be willing to do this go. At this point, we're not looking to move the poles, though.
No, we're trying to leave the poles in place as they are to help save costs in that field.
All right. Should we have them inspected? Osmos tested?
I'll reach out to them and see if they'd be willing to come over to inspect it.
Okay. I mean, I don't know what the lifespan of those poles are or what the requirements are for, like, electric pole inspection, but I know they're inspected on a regular basis, some yearly cycle. I'm not sure on that, but.
I would assume that the poles are probably past their prime. So it's probably gonna be, even though it's cost prohibitive, something that we'll need done with them in the future. So,
Well, I guess I'm questioning if the poles are questionable, why would we put new lights on them without, I think we need to have them inspected first and then make a determination from there.
well, from my understanding, and I don't think we can put wooden posts back in, those are grandfathered in.
Right.
And we're looking at $200,000+, this is me guessing, in new posts. So it's kind of a,
Yeah, I think when we were discussing numbers with Amos, I think the total package for the poles was right about 200 to 250,000.
yeah,
Oh, I'm sure it is.
yeah.
But I guess my concern is if we're putting new lights on old poles and are they rotted some, half rotted off?
Yeah, I agree. I think maybe we should get someone to look at them, but we probably already know what they're gonna say.
I don't know.
They're in need replaced, and
I
either
mean-
get by, it's kind of becoming a thing, everyone wants a football field done, but no one wants to pay for everything, so it's kind of a,
I think we should have the poles tested before we
yeah, I agree.
attach lights to them.
I agree, something probably needs to be at least looked at or treated if, obviously, I'm not an expert in telephone poles, and I don't, so, as Osmos can say, hey, if we treat them, you can get another 20 or 5 months or whatever out of them, I take their word over it, for sure.
I think that should be part of it.
I'll reach out to Central Electric and I'll report back out to the school
Whether
board.
they can, I don't know whether they have personnel that do that, or they probably contract Osmos, I would think, and
Yep.
could get us in touch with whoever could do that for us. Thank you.
Any other discussion on this topic? All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstention? Motion carries.
Item J, consideration to approve building a pool building to store the football equipment paid by the bond. So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion on this?
Question, are we looking to put the building back by the track, or,
Yeah, I'll defer to James on this one, but I think that's what the plan was there.
Yeah, we're thinking somewhere between like the football field and the track area to kind of use as a neutral ground that, both teams could use it, potentially off the corner of the high school near the library, but it's still kind of open for discussion.
and are we looking at just a storage type building, or are we looking to include restrooms?
As of now, the thought process was to just go with strictly storage, but build it in a manner that if we wanted to at some point, we have the option to add on locker rooms, restrooms, whatever to it. But for now, just dry storage.
Okay. Yeah, it'd be nice to have, depending on where it's at on campus, restrooms for both track and football
Right.
would certainly be
Sure.
so, thank you.
Were you able to receive any quotes or any information on cost estimates for this, James?
Not really, we need to kind of nail down a size and,
Okay.
what we're looking to do for sure. We could meet with that, discuss it.
We just wanted to make sure the school board was in favor of that, and we'll continue to work together and probably have to go out for an RFP and get back in touch with you with more details.
And that building will need to be engineered or in some capacity. I'd like to include, if we're going to move forward with this, that we hire a new engineer.
Okay.
Maybe some recommendation from neighboring districts.
Honestly, I have background in post-building. Most of the bigger companies will actually pre-engineer them, so it's nice.
Well, I don't know whether the Department of Ed requires an independent or not.
I'm gonna take that.
Yeah. If it does need engineered, I mean, I don't, who's ended up building it or whatever.
Most of the time, they can't do their own. They can
Include that in.
Yeah. Most of the people who build post-building all build the same.
That's what my company does, and we have 2 in-house engineers and a project manager.
Okay.
Great. Any other discussion on this? All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstention? Motion carries.
Item K, consideration to approve the pay application number 4 from Fred L. Burns in the amount of $33,996.63 paid by the bond as attached. So moved.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstention? Motion carries.
Aye.
Thank you. Motion carries.
Item L, consideration to approve the donation from IBEW Local 29 in the amount of $200 in memory of Jim Marin. So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstention? Motion carries.
Item M, consideration to approve the donation from Jack Barrett and Lauren Sanders in the amount of $100 in the memory of Jim Marin. So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? I'd like to thank those individuals and the local for donating the money in that memory of Jim Marin. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstention? Motion carries.
Item N, consideration to approve the pay application number 3 from Wright Electric Inc. Incorporated in the amount of $116,809.61, with $100,000 paid by the PA Smart Grant and $16,809.61 paid by the bond. So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor?
So, wait, charges on, the charge to the grant on that where everything's okay on that? That it's,
Yes, Courtney, Kristen, and myself had met. We reviewed the narrative for the PA Smart Grant, but it was written in a manner that it could help offset cost. We've taken care of the podcast room and all the other auxiliary material tied to it. We're just finishing off that grant.
okay, thank you.
Any other discussion on this topic? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstention? Motion carries.
Item O, consideration to approve pay application number 5 from Fred L. Burns Incorporated in the amount of $41,156.86 paid by the bond. So moved.
Moved in second. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstention? Motion carries.
Item P, consideration to approve accepting the Pennsylvania Remake Learning Grant from Riverview IU6 in the amount of $500. So moved.
Moved in second. Any discussion?
That'll be going to the first program.
Thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstention? Motion carries. Carrie, could you do personnel for us, please?
Sure. Letter A, consideration to approve the request from employee number 200 for paid maternity leave tentatively beginning May 2nd, 2026, or sooner if needed, utilizing all emergency sick and personal days. Once all emergency sick and personal days are exhausted, to use family medical leave. So moved.
Moved in second. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstention? Motion carries.
Letter B, consideration to approve advertising in-house for a long-term substitute teacher to fill the maternity leave referenced above. So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstention? Motion carries.
Letter C, consideration to approve hiring the following 6 AC Valley students for summer 2026 work as follows: Mallory Fair, Malia Page, Ryan Armagast, Maddie Dawson Dehart, and Carter McGarvey. So moved.
Second.
Moved in second. Any discussion?
I don't have to abstain since it's a group, correct?
I'd abstain.
Okay.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions?
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you.
I'm sorry, I'm reading, huh?
You're all good.
You looked at me
like I was gonna start reading.
He's over here giggling, causing problems.
No,
Letter,
flip.
teacher. Letter D, consideration to approve advertising for 2 additional elementary certified teachers. So moved.
Second.
Moved in second. Any discussion?
Just keep in mind that our recommendation is to add 2 additional elementary classroom teachers to the elementary, so we have 3 teachers per grade level. That would be tied into the 26-27 budget. We are formulating that budget at this current time. That'll give us the ability to start moving with that. We will do our bidding in-house before we advertise externally for those positions.
Do we have an idea where they will go?
What we do inside, Todd, is we'll have a bidding meeting. So if they're opening up second grade, for example, somebody will have the ability to go from 5th grade, hypothetically, into 2nd grade, and then we're not really sure where it'll end up at this time.
Is it better to have that now, or is it better to wait until we see what you're gonna need? Is it gonna?
As far as the budget goes, Patty?
Going to be dependent on what you're going to need to, elementary certified versus middle school?
No, they've modified the grade span to K through 6 right now, and they've grandfathered in that K through 4th grade certification.
So I guess when we had our budget meeting, I guess I should have asked for more information or whatever, was somewhat confused. And we don't necessarily have a cost on this because we don't know what the bidding process is going to do in-house to fill those positions.
Yeah, we're not really sure in-house, but even when we post externally, it could be somebody right out of school, which would be a base salary of mid-50s, or it could be somebody on step 12, and it could be mid-70s. So this particular time, no, Bob, we don't. We generally budget just over $100,000, speculating what it would cost to add each of those employees.
Historically, in the past, correct me if I'm wrong, David, we've gone and budgeted somebody coming in on step 1, with the exception at times we have honored somebody at a higher step, but we try to plan for that step 1 coming into the classroom.
Well, I guess if we advertise in-house, I mean, there could be bumping in-house and somebody,
For two
That's-
positions, but we're still
Could
going to
fill
post
those positions.
externally
Yeah,
eventually.
regardless of who moves where, we're still gonna need 2 positions in the elementary school.
which means for the other question, I mean, I guess if we approve to advertise, we don't necessarily, will we vote again to actually fill those positions and approve it? Because I'm concerned about the budget and where the numbers shake out.
We wouldn't do that until the application interview and hiring process would start.
Right,
So
right.
we would just be advertising to potentially add them onto the staff and advertise, but we're not hiring anybody until
Well,
that
that's-
process.
That's why I want
Plays out.
clarification on that. The positions won't be filled until somewhere down the road, if determined that's needed, or.
And we're hoping to have preliminary budget numbers a week before the April workshop. And we'll be meeting with Finance Committee, and Courtney and Ellen's working on that currently.
This motion doesn't lock us into hiring anybody, it just gives the district the ability to advertise.
Advertise.
And
Okay.
try to move forward the process.
Thank you.
Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstention? Motion carries.
Letter F, consideration to accept the resignation from Jess Quinn, varsity head basketball coach dated March 4th, 2026. So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstention? Motion carries.
I'm sorry, I did skip one. Go back to letter E. Consideration to approve advertising for a K through 12 special education teacher for the elementary school. So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion?
Just keep in mind that that is replacing a retiring special education teacher. We are going to expand those duties to meet the needs of students K through 12 as opposed to the elementary position in the past.
Any other discussion?
And that'll be in-house.
Yeah, we'll do that in-house first, Bob, and then we'll go ahead and post that externally if we don't have anybody in-house. So that's where it becomes a little bit tricky because that is a, limited certification there. So we'll do our best to fill that position with a highly qualified educator.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstention? Motion carries.
Letter G, consideration to approve advertising for a varsity head basketball coach. So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstention? Motion carries.
And I can't figure out why I'm so out of sorts today. Sheesh. Letter H, consideration to approve advertising for a varsity assistant basketball coach, junior high head coach, and junior high assistant coach. So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstention? Motion carries.
Letter I, consideration to approve hiring Sydney Calendar as the assistant softball coach at a supplemental salary of $1,427. So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Letter J, consideration to approve advertising for an assistant to the superintendent. So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion?
I'll just keep in mind that as I get closer to retirement, that we are looking for the next superintendent, and the plan is to have myself mentor the new assistant to the superintendent.
So this is part of a succession plan. We've been talking about it for a number of years. And we've implemented succession plans in the past in the district recently, and David feels they've gone really well. So we want to try to mirror that in the next transition here with the leader of the district here. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstention? Motion carries.
Letter K, consideration to approve the assistant to the superintendent job description as attached. So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion?
Question on how long will we advertise that?
I'm not sure right now. We generally advertise for 10 days, Bob, with this particular situation and the fact that we'd like to hire and get somebody in place in July. We could go a little bit longer. We will be doing a statewide search. We'll advertise it internal, locally, like we do everywhere else. I did contact PARS, and they'll be able to post it as well as PASA.
We advertise, because of the position it is, we advertise that for a longer period.
Yep. Mhm. Yep.
Census.
Yep.
You know, there could be candidates that getting their certifications or whatever. that
Yep, that's correct.
they can bid for.
There are 17 superintendent openings across the state right now. I just saw that at PASA's website.
Is that pretty high?
Yeah, that's extremely high. with 500 school districts, it is a requirement by law to have a certified superintendent hired on for the school district.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
I'm just, we're allowed as board members to share that job description out to people we feel
Yes,
may be
absolutely.
good candidates? Okay.
I'll get it sent out to you. Patty, if you know anybody.
We're going to try to advertise on our own here, as it's cheaper, and then if we can't find anybody within a reasonable amount of time, we will contact PSBA, PARS, PASBO, and try to advertise through them, but of course, that's at a cost.
And I did reach out to him, Brady. There is an additional cost, and for the most part, they don't advertise for the assistant position. They only do the superintendent position. But I feel confident we'll be able to find qualified applicants.
I agree. Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstention? Motion carries.
Letter L, consideration to approve hiring Tracy Strasser as a part-time cafeteria worker at an hourly rate of $16.96. So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain? Abstentions? All those in favor?
We did that.
Any opposed?
See what CJ does?
I didn't do anything.
Abstentions? Motion carries. Thank you.
Yeah, I should. Rest of the meeting.
Letter M, consideration to approve advertising for an administrative assistant to the business office / transportation director. So moved.
Second.
I'm working with Courtney on developing that job description to offer additional support in the business office. We do have a complete new staff in there. Courtney's learning the position and doing a wonderful job. We just need some additional support in there. Keep in mind that we had budgeted a business manager and a assistant business manager at the beginning of the year. So we do have this salary covered. It is going to be a part-time position that does not include benefits at this time.
But you don't have the job description done yet?
Yeah, we do.
You do, okay. Oh, sorry, I didn't read it. Well, that was the next on the list, but I don't think I remember seeing it in the packet, so.
Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstention? Motion carries.
Letter N, consideration to approve the administrative assistant to the business office / transportation director job description as attached. So moved.
Second.
Any discussion?
Can you, and I apologize that I didn't read it, can you just give me a summary of what this person's going to be responsible for?
Yeah, so a good portion of what they're going to be doing is helping me with all the transportation needs, all the paperwork, things of that nature. There's a ton of paperwork that goes along with transportation, so that's a big portion. Also, pretty much assisting with accounts receivable, basically anything that we have in the district office that we need help with, as far as, me doing trainings and things with Lindsay. So it's gonna kind of help me have more time to be other accounts payable that's new as well.
And trying to find the time to find and train for a backup payroll position is really important for us right now, and we feel this position can help that out.
And this person would help with our focus. So I do that currently. Right now, that's the student system. So they would be the person that would help get everything updated over the summer. Keep the calendars up to date.
Did you come up with a pay range for this position?
It'll
Or
most
what you
likely be
budgeted?
part of the support staff, and it'll fall into the secretary pay
Okay.
range.
Okay, thank you.
Question, Courtney or David.
Yes.
The district at one time, memory serves me, actually had a program that laid out the transportation for the district.
Yeah, it was called Transfinder.
Do we still have that, or is it?
No, we sent Mrs. Sherman for the training whenever she first started a good number of years ago, and the program was relatively complex, and it wouldn't work with a smaller school district, believe it or not, just because of the complexity and the manpower it took to keep everything up.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstention? Motion carries.
Letter O, consideration to accept the letter of retirement from James Stantz dated March 6, 2026. James has been an employee with the district since January 2009, with his retirement date being May 31st, 2026, as attached. So moved.
Second.
I'd like to thank Jim for his years of service at the district. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstention? Motion carries.
Letter P, consideration to approve advertising for a full-time heavy-duty custodian. So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstention? Motion carries.
Letter Q, consideration to accept the letter of retirement from Rose Dittman dated March 12, 2026. Rose has been an employee with the district since December 2004, with her retirement date being May 29, 2026, as attached. So moved.
Second.
I'd like to thank Rose for her years of service at the district as well. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstention? Motion carries.
Letter R, consideration to approve advertising in-house for a full-time second shift, 3 p.m. to 11 p.m. light-duty custodian. So moved.
Second.
Any discussion?
What is a quick difference between a heavy duty?
Todd, light duty just mainly does cleaning, sweeping, preliminary to just the classrooms. Heavy duty will do trash, run the scrubber, the bigger sweepers, clean the kitchen area, they kind of handle any games. And then summertime, just heavier lifting. It's pretty much along the lines. Light duty is strictly evening shift. Heavy duty, we have that rotation. They're here during the day and evening. They kind of alternate back and forth.
Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstention? Motion carries. Clifford, can you do instructional services for us, please?
No. Okay. Can I have the elementary report, please?
You sure can. So I want to start my report tonight by highlighting probably our biggest activity since the last time we met. On March 2nd, we celebrated our annual Read Across America Week, which is a national initiative to help promote the love of reading. And they choose March 2nd because that is Dr. Seuss's birthday, so we celebrate that in conjunction. This is the second or third year that Ann Butler has volunteered to spearhead a committee to plan for this event. So I wanted to say a special thanks to her and to all the teachers who joined her committee and helped pitch in with the planning along the way. It was a week-long of spirit days, and then on the actual day, Dr. Seuss's birthday, the biggest highlight was guest readers that we had come in. We had many retired ACV teachers, Bill, myself, and Kristen, all read to the kids. Some high school teachers and their students came down and read, so that's really a fun day for all of us to share that love of reading. There was also a door decorating contest, which probably was the kids' favorite part. Their theme for this year was Red, White, and Blue, 250 Chapters of American History. So all of their doors chose an event from American history and highlighted that event. Ribbons were placed on the doors for first through third place, and we congratulate our winners, Mrs. Scott in grades K through 2, and that's a second grade room, and Mrs. Christo, a fifth grade room for grades 3 through 6. In addition, quarter 3 ends on Friday, which I believe Maddie shared with us at the beginning. That's March 20th, and report cards will go home on March 27th, 1 week later. March 20th is also an early out for the students. They will be dismissed at 1 o'clock from the elementary. And the last thing I wanted to mention tonight is kindergarten registration is fast approaching. The dates this year are April 14th and 15th. We are already up to 31 families who have contacted and asked for packets, so that's a really good number this early in the game. Any families out there with incoming kindergarten students should go to our website, acvsd.org, to sign up for a registration slot. So for each day, there are registration slots beginning at 8:30 and ending at 2. So that's how they sign up for their particular slot. And we will have a whole crew, kindergarten crew on site, including some volunteers from the high school that Mrs. Farrington lines up for us. Any families who have sent in their kindergarten registration form and have not received a registration packet should call the elementary office so that you get that packet and can fill it out in time for registration. Those have all been sent out, so if they have not received theirs, they should call to check on that. That's all I have this evening, CJ.
Question, that 31, how does that compare to prior years, Lori?
That's a pretty good number
Is it?
this early in the game.
Okay.
Yeah,
That sounded like it was, so,
yeah.
thank you.
Thank you.
Good, glad to
Yep,
hear.
got it.
Sorry I'll miss the next Adams.
Secondary report, please.
Not a ton of activities happening at the high school currently. This is probably the slowest time of the year, right before we gear up for the activities that occur in April and May, the biggest time of the year by far. But we do have a few things happening. On March 31st, I will be taking 6 students down to Allegheny General Hospital, where we will observe open heart surgery. So I'm pretty excited about that, and I know the students are as well. This is something that was scheduled actually originally in January, but due to things that happened in a hospital, they canceled on us and invited us at a later time. I will report back once we encounter that. As Lori mentioned, report cards at the high school will also be sent home on March 27th for the third 9-week marking period. The high school did a test run for PSSAs using the Firefly assessment last week. If you don't know, the Firefly assessment is similar to the PSSAs. It's kind of geared in the same fashion, and it gives us actually a snapshot of how students should perform on that PSSAs. So it gives us a couple pieces of information as far as the assessment itself. The second piece is we wanted to test our own network and see exactly how we would handle all those students testing at the same time. The PSSAs are mandated to be tested online this year. So that's a little bit different than the old paper pencil way of doing things, and we just weren't sure how our network would manage that. We did pretty well. Had a few little tweaks that we've had to do, but Aaron and the tech department have taken care of those things. So we are ready to go for testing at the high school, and I know the elementary had a pretty successful run with the Firefly assessment as well. Just so you know, PSSAs will be starting in the middle of April. So it'll be on.
Can I jump in there too and just
Sure.
thank publicly Carla Parker for that, because they were instrumental in getting that up and running, both at the elementary school and at the high school. So I just wanted to thank them along with our IT department, because long before last week, they were working on putting out files and they did a tremendous job. So I just wanted to piggyback off of that. Thank you all.
One last piece, the students in the 11th grade were finally able to test on the ASVAB, which was also online and a little different from years past. And what that does, we have that, the recruiters come in and test with the ASVAB each and every year with the 11th grade. And what that does for the high school is it helps us fulfill a pathway for some of those students that maybe they aren't real great test takers with the Keystone exams, which are required, but they do better on the ASVAB because the generated questions are more to align with students that are hands-on, more kind of like your typical common sense type questions. And so it's not as factually based, it's more what would you do in this particular scenario, and some students just really take to that quite a bit more. I printed off a report that I use, and the ASVAB plays a part in this, and that's at each of your seats. And this report comes from our Ed Insight program, which is a data collection piece for the district. And you can look at that, and you can see for grade 12, the graph on the left, and it tells you exactly where they have fulfilled their pathway. Every graduating student in Pennsylvania has to have a pathway of one of these types. So the green, for instance, there, the 28% for the senior class, that's proficiency on the Keystone exams. The blue one is the composite pathway, and that's a mix of proficiency and maybe they weren't proficient on the third test, but they're combined score got a composite score that was acceptable. The alternative testing is right where the ASVAB falls into play, and 12% of our seniors currently are in that group. Of course, you have the Career Center kids. They fall into that red graph. IEP kids, the 7%, the purple, and then a waiver is for students that, for example, maybe somebody had a health issue that prevented them from being able to test regularly, or maybe they moved into our district as a senior from another state. That's what we would use the waiver for. So that's the senior class, and then on the right side is the graph for the current 11th graders. If you go all the way over to no pathway or blank form, some of the kids that are in those particular groups, I have yet to put the score in for the ASVAB, and I know I've seen the scores, and 4 kids out of that group will move over to the alternative testing area. So we still have a little bit of work on a few students, but Mrs. Logan and myself, we look at these reports all the time and try to get the kids into a pathway so that they can be successful, and it also helps with planning their senior year as well. And that's my report.
Thank you very much. Athletic report, please.
So the first item I want to bring up tonight, it deals with old uniforms. We have an inordinate amount lying around in Rubbermaid containers, and closets, cupboards. We really need to get rid of a lot of them, all of them. All of them. It's crazy. They're of no use to any of the teams now. Yeah, they're old. And the reason I bring this up is Tracy Daly, our elementary school nurse, her daughter plays soccer for Grove City College, and they're going on a mission trip. If I could load her up with a U-Haul, I would, but she can only take so much. But I'm asking if we can sort through and see if there's anything, a list that she could take some of our stuff and just unload it. The underprivileged kids, they love jerseys and all those things from the States. So I just would ask Tracy, what they're looking for in particular, to see if I could round some things up.
Dave, I think that's a wonderful idea. My recommendation would be to open it up to the students and community first to see if anybody in the local area would like to
That's my other
get them.
thought.
Yep.
We've done this in the past with track sweats. Once they get to be about 10 years old, they get faded, the elastic rips out of them, they get torn. I put them out in the locker room and just let kids have at it. Just to unload some of it because it takes up so much space. I'd be more than willing to set things out and let kids pick through it and whatever, take whatever they'd like to have, even for our students. So, maybe promote a little bit of school spirit, stuff they could wear to games, things like that. Because we're not using them and they're just taking up space.
Do we not have a process to get rid of them, or maybe that's something that you want to maybe put together, Dave, is just, coming up with a way to not accumulate those in the future, once they go out of service?
Yeah.
How we handle them?
I know Union, a lot of times they'll give their seniors their jerseys over their football. I don't know if that's something you do if they get to the end of a cycle where they're just sort of no good to anyone anymore.
Yeah.
I don't know what the answer is, but it's been ongoing for years. So, something we need to, this is just a drop in the ocean. But it's a little bit of a way to get things moving, and if somebody wants to wear them, they have at it. So, like I said, if I could put it, I'm sure they're flying somewhere. If she could drive a U-Haul, she could take them all, because there's just so many of them. So it's something that I would like to try to deal with, because we don't have storage for a lot of it. So.
I think donating them on the mission trip, I think that's a very good idea.
Yeah.
I mean, put them out to the kids and the public first, and then
Right.
if she can use some of them.
And I'm going to ask Tracy what specifically, if there's anything that she's looking for in particular.
Yeah, whatever she can use or take.
Right.
That's,
And then I'll let kids have at it, if everybody's okay with that.
This probably does not include things like all equipment.
No, that usually gets reconditioned, or if it gets damaged beyond repair, it's a safety issue, so they get rid of it, throw it out, probably. So, then we're talking basically jerseys. So anyway, that was just something I wanted to put out to the board so that everybody was aware that we were hoping that it'd be all right with everyone if we did something along those lines. So, spring sports are in full swing, kind of like Maddie talked about earlier. Scott Kendall and I are juggling our buses that we do have and vans and gymnasiums, and working around Mother Nature to make sure everybody gets where they need to be. So that's always a challenge, and so we're dealing with that. Junior high volleyball has completed 3 games already. They participated in Red Bank Valley 7th and 8th grade tournament last weekend. Varsity baseball and softball have each had their opening scrimmage against Kane last week, and the baseball team played a game against Reynolds on Saturday. And then pretty much, I imagine most of you have likely heard that Union has voted in their last board meeting to no longer offer junior high track, baseball, or softball. So that's something that we talked about in the athletic committee at our last meeting, and it's probably something we're going to have to address in the future if we want to continue those programs and what we want to do with that. Just a consideration down the road, probably next year.
Do we co-op with them now in the junior high?
Yes.
Okay. What, those kids, would they still have the opportunity to continue if they wanted to participate?
They're good for this year, but they're talking about for next year.
Next year.
Next year, yeah. They're going to drop their junior high programs because they don't want to spend the money on it. They're offering more sports programs, and their theory was that they're taking away from academics and offering things that, like with junior high baseball and softball, that they could get in the community. So we'll have to either make a decision what we want to do there next year, and we can't really wait till the spring, obviously, but something that we're going to have kind of on the radar, that we're going to have to make a decision about what we want to do with our program, those programs for ourselves. So. Any questions? All right.
Thank you very much. Consideration to approve the proposal for the softball team to attend a tournament in Toledo, Ohio from April 17th to the 19th, 2026. So moved.
Second.
Moved and second, any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstention? Motion carries.
Westy report, please.
Good evening. As you recall, last month, I had reported that our facility is switching from an all-male facility to an all-female facility. The process has begun, rite of passage. We were up to 3 units, now we're down to 1 unit of students. 1 unit is typically 12 students in a dorm, or we call dorm a unit. So they are down to 1 unit of male students. After Easter break, they're going to start bringing in the females, 2 at a time. It looks like they're going to have 1 unit of 9 to start. So we will have 1 unit of males, 1 unit of females. They'll be opposite ends of the hallway. They'll be instructed in different ends of the hallway in different rooms. They'll never be in the same area at the same time. Eventually, that unit of boys will be transferred out. Most of the students that have been kept there are in the last 3 months of their program. So hopefully they will either graduate or finish the rite of passage program and then either leave or be transferred to another facility or independent living facility. So that process has begun. They are hoping by June to have 3 units of females, again of 9 students. So rite of passage is doing a lot of training. My staff is also involved in that as soon as tomorrow. So it's a learning curve for everyone, but we're making adjustments. Academically, we're looking at what other offerings we can have to support the female students. Vocation's going to be a big one, obviously. If you can see on the next item, we're asking for your support for the approval of financial literacy. So financial literacy is a required course beginning the 2026-27 school year. It is a half-credit course. It will be taught by our math teacher, and it will review taxes, banking, credit, insurance, student loans, personal finance, technology, all things that our students really need to go out and survive in the world. Additionally, since that's a half-credit course, we wanted to offer another half-credit course. So we're going to offer a course called Everyday Living, and it's basically designed to prepare students for independent living and career readiness. Similar transitional and practical applications such as employment preparedness, healthy relationships, practical problem-solving, decision-making, and career readiness competencies. So very similar, both that they really need. We really have tried to teach practical application for our students. We have gone to a more direct instruction approach versus computer-based approach, and the students really enjoy it. And their behavior has really gone down in the classroom as a result. So if we can relate to them, what we're teaching is going to affect them in the future and how, in their decision-making, they seem to buy into it a lot more. So we're asking for your support to approve those two programs.
Meg, can I ask a question?
Yeah.
I know, and I apologize, I was not here in person last month, so if this was already answered, I apologize.
Sure, no problem.
But I know with the simulators and things like that, that's a big investment that was paid for by the grant, but if that is not technology that maybe is going to be used in the future, what becomes of those items?
We are going to use that. I mean, there are females in those line of work, so we fully intend on using that. We are just looking to add additional.
Gotcha.
We have the graphic design, which is huge. You know, there was some discussion about, well, Danville offers, they have females there. So we were going to, you know, work with them to see what they have, what's popular, you know, what we can replicate from them. And then there's also other things that we would like to do, such as like a greenhouse outside, you know, teaching them to grow vegetables and then transitioning that into like culinary in the kitchen. We've had a few students that have worked in the kitchen, in the culinary. Now, obviously, you have to be very careful with that, but there are students that have, you know, earned that responsibility. So we would like to do that, but there's been some loopholes where, you know, some things needed secured outside, so we couldn't quite do that yet. So there's, you know, we have a lot of great ideas. It's just, you know, just trying to make some different tracks. So we will be utilizing that equipment. It will not be sitting around.
CL School District just did a greenhouse project.
Oh, really?
So reach out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, reach out
What
to them
district
and-
was it?
Clarion Limestone.
Oh, okay, all
So
right.
they have a greenhouse on their property and,
Oh,
and
wonderful,
they're
okay.
growing veggies and
Yes.
utilizing them in
Great.
school and home ec and things like that. So,
Okay.
you know, reach out to CL if
That would be
I'm
great.
sure they can
Great
give you some
field trip.
pointers. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and we have the ability to connect you with some stuff, like the planters, the hydroponic planters and things like
Okay.
that. We have them. I'm sure Anna would love them off the shelf because they were bought with a grant.
Okay,
And
great.
they're returned.
Right.
So,
One of the problems we have, honestly, is we don't have a lot of green space. I wish we had more green space for the students, but we don't have a lot. They spend a lot of time in the cement courtyard, which is in the middle of the building, which is sad.
does it get sunshine?
It gets sunshine, but there's no grass.
That's
So
okay. This
it-
will give you
Yeah.
stuff.
So it would be
Yeah.
nice if we could get them outside and get the greenhouse and then connect that through. And we want more hands-on, you know, like we even talked about with vocation about, you know, getting a car, teaching them how to change a tire and the oil, things like that. So, yeah, we're getting there. So, thank you.
With the transition, do we know how many female students that we're anticipating? Do we have
Yeah,
a-
they're anticipating, well, we can hold 48. We have a residential facility that holds 48. They are anticipating by June to have 3 units of 9. So they were backed up with 40 female students that had no placement, which is how this came about. So, you know, sometimes it'll be less, sometimes it'll be more, but they had said by June it should be 3 students.
Okay.
3
Thank you.
units of 9, so that, yeah. Other questions? Thank you.
Thank you. Consideration to approve the financial literacy course plan for Western Secure Treatment Unit as attached. So moved.
Second.
Moved in second, any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstention, motion carries.
Consideration to approve the Everyday Living course plan at Western Secure Treatment Unit as attached. So moved.
Moved in second, any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstention, motion carries.
Sure thing. Short report tonight. Everything is status quo with the exception of the PA Smart Grant. Today was the due date for the final budget revision. Courtney and Ellen and I and David were working diligently to get everything in the right spot. We submitted that, I submitted that today at 3 o'clock, so we'll get some feedback on that. And if we have to make any adjustments, we will. And that's all I have tonight if there's no questions.
Thank you kindly.
Sure.
District report, please.
Thank you, Cliff. Lots going on in Harrisburg. I have a few updates for you this evening. PDE met with the House and the Senate to have their discussion for the up-and-coming budget school year. The governor's office is also meeting with the Department of Revenues. There's a lot of discussions around CTE programs. One piece of legislation being discussed in Harrisburg is to expedite the students to get through the program and be able to take the NOCTI test before their senior year so that they can get out into the workforce. As the law is written right now, they can't take that NOCTI until they're a senior. Some kids advance through, and it will help to expedite that. Governor Shapiro, his original budget address for the 26-27 school year is an additional $914 million on top of last year's budget, taking it to $19.4 billion. That's 5% increase. There's a lot of opposition to that in Harrisburg. Both sides are having a discussion as far as how they can add additional money into that budget, and they're all coming up with different ideas. Where the money's going to go is into the Ready to Learn block grant, which will benefit AC Valley. If the budget's approved as is, we'll get $160,000 additional dollars next year. In addition to that, they'll continue to increase student teaching stipends and maintain the $10,000, but keep the stipend in the budget for next school year to increase student teachers. There's also school choice advocates discussing tax credit scholarships with the governor as well. He's remaining neutral at this time. There's House Bill 2275 being discussed right now. That's tied into IDEA of 2004, and they'd like to extend the timeline of 60 days for the evaluation process to be able to give school districts a little bit more time. That's a state-imposed timeline. And then Senate Bill 1192 is a discussion on Act 1 and fund balances in Pennsylvania. And then finally, there's House Bill 41 that's being tossed around right now, and that would separate non-boundary school districts from public school districts for all varsity athletics. So that would eliminate all the parochial schools from competing with the public school districts right now, and there's a lot of discussion about that right now. And there's just a little bit of a concern as far as what non-boundary considers. Is that school districts that accept outside students into their school district with tuition assistance, or is that just parochial or cyber schools that we hear so much about? Advocacy Day, we are going to Harrisburg March 5th and 6th to meet with the legislators. Last week, we had Representative Lee James, Representative Bashline, Senator Hutchin up at IU6, and we had a really good discussion with them, and it was amicable on both sides of it, and it went very well. And then I'd like to finish off and recognize Melanie Cool. I don't want to steal her thunder because I'm sure she's going to be talking about it, but her and the special education department had a really good audit up at the West 2 program, brand new program that Dr. Maines had started. He set the tone, but Melanie was able to pick it up right where he left off. She was very well organized. Her relationship with the auditors and key contacts from the state enabled us to walk away with a clean audit. So kudos to Melanie and the work that she put into the program at West 2. Just keep in mind that some of the difficulties that we've had to overcome is 80% of our students come identified, and a lot of times they come in without the proper paperwork. And we work as a team, and it goes for everybody here at the district as well as the West 2 program to collect that paperwork, consolidate it, have it electronically and a hard copy, so when the students leave, and they leave quite often, they have a full packet of information that goes with them. And we've been partnering with ROP to get that done as well. So kudos to Megan and her staff for that piece of it as well. And Cliff, that concludes my report.
Thank you very much. A, consideration to approve the 26-27 Allegheny Clarion Valley School District calendar. So moved.
Moved and second. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstention? Motion carries.
B, consideration to approve the K through 12 grade guidance plan. So moved.
Any discussion?
Keep in mind that's a 3-year rotating plan. Mrs. Logue and Mrs. Rice had been working diligently on that, and if you get on the website and take a look at it, it's pretty intensive. It's just a revision of what we did 3 years ago.
Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstention? Motion carries.
School police report, please. Thank you.
Dave, what's this interval? What's the interval for these, for the statistics? What is the interval?
Every month.
So this is a monthly, so this,
Yep.
as these are.
Mhm.
Special education report, please.
Was talking about our cyclical monitoring out at STU. All of our citations, we only really got a few of those were on site. We were able to fix them and helped kind of move forward with some signatures and things of that nature that we needed to fix. So how that typically works is that if they gave us citations, they would pull another 10 files and then come back out on site. So it is a lot of work when they come back, both for the auditor and ourselves. So we were pretty happy to walk away with the news that we got. Taking a look at all of our compliance and our IEPs, well beyond where we should be or can be out there. And that speaks highly of our special education teachers out there. They really do take a lot of time. We get a lot of those reports in, and they're messy. They're coming from a lot of different districts and a lot of different states. So we take them and we clean them up. Between Dr. Anna Smith, who is our school psychologist, she does a fantastic job of cleaning those up, and our special education teachers out there. So we wouldn't have gotten that great of a report without them. So that's just our report on that cyclical monitoring for them. Dr. Jeffel and Mrs. Thurber and myself actually today got to go out to That's why we did about 9 different presentations through rotations, about 15 minutes. We probably saw over 100 students today coming out of the education field. And as Alicia kind of said at the beginning, just to get our faces out there and our name at AC Valley was fantastic, right? A lot of those people, they weren't real sure where Allegheny Clarion Valley School District, and if our name could have just been said today, we had them put a QR code. They gave us their contact information, what they were certified in. We really said we love the fact that they're coming into education. We'll help them wherever we can, but kind of hook, line, and sink to say that we've now got them on our listserv as positions open. So great opportunity. I'm glad we were able to go today. I know you got a lot of papers in front of you. I just wanted to give you some numbers in special education. So you do have a kind of a little chart there. And that enrollment numbers is obviously very flexible. We have students coming in and out of our doors on a daily basis, but right now we have about that 585. 188 type of special ed services. That includes your gifted students, also your West type of supports, whether that in district or out of district. So when you take a look at that 188 students, we really are providing a lot of individualized instruction to them. You'll see that 24-25 is the snapshot. That's your pen data from your one count. So that hasn't come out for us for this year. But it says 150. The only discrepancy is they don't include our West 2 students in that 150 when we write that report, or our gifted 504 kids. So that's just the difference of numbers. We sit about the same as many students that we served last year as we are this year. The other thing, just to make sure, we really have a high percentage of LRE. That's especially because at the high school in our co-taught population, as we continue to move in that direction and getting students in our least restrictive environment and making sure they're in the general education with supports as necessary. If you turn to the second page on that, just so that we're kind of having some conversation here, we did have our early intervention meetings. Out of those, we do have 4 full-time to supplemental autistic kindergarten students coming to AC Valley. And that is a high percentage of students that we typically see. So I kind of laid that out for us. Right now, we are projecting that we will in-house that program, program within elementary school. We currently have a teacher who is an expert within that field, and so we feel confident that we can continue with that with the supports of the district, professionals that we have allocated into that program. The other option, we're aware that the projection would be that they would need to go to the program at Union School District. Also has that K through 6 autistic support program. We did hold that here. We have to send that also talked about that K-12 position, just to clarify. That's just reallocating our retired 5-6 teacher. One of the benefits is that we are going to pull back about 4 to 6 students in our emotional support at the high school that are on an itinerant basis. So we'll pull those students back into our classrooms and be able to support them at an itinerant level with that position. And that's where some of that position will be at the high school, but the majority will be down at the elementary doing some type of intervention services throughout the building. And I think that, any questions for me?
I had a question about the job fair you guys were at today. When you guys got that contact information, are you guys going to be sending out email blasts when we have positions open up? Or?
Sure, and what I
Okay.
told them today is we have it all, so I'll send an email so that they have our contact information, because the biggest thing was just to tell them to continue to network,
Right.
as an educator. And then now we have a poll, right? So if we can divide that just quick, if we have a social studies position, well, I know all the candidates were certified in social studies now, and we can just send that out to them.
Okay.
And that's where, like, if we can continue to post things like that, just to get people's information as they graduate here, that way we can send that information out when we have jobs that are fitting their needs.
Great, great. Is that
Yep.
something that we could post on our Facebook page or our website that they can send their email in to be put in this email blast when?
Yeah,
positions open
absolutely.
up?
It was as simple
Okay.
as a QR code, and they filled out a quick Google form for me, so.
Okay, that'd be
it's all
awesome
on a
if we could do
spreadsheet,
that.
yeah, absolutely.
Thank you.
Did you have the opportunity to collect any resumes?
We did. They were very well prepared. I said they were very impressive today. Great, verbal skills. They came up, handshakes. Here's my resume. They wanted to hear about us. We said that to some of the professors when we left. What a great graduating class. Yeah, but I have a whole pile full of them. Yep.
Perfect.
Great, thank you guys for that. James, can we have a maintenance report, please?
Yes. Good evening. Pretty low-key the last few weeks, just kind of gearing up for the next month with the auditorium renovations and get those finished up. But up at the high school, we're just working on a univent in one of the kitchens, getting that finalized. Down here at the elementary, we have some work with the drain here at the loading dock. Just some of the corrosion from the salt over the past 20-plus years has kind of crumbled some of the concrete, so as soon as the weather gets nice, we'll take care of that. District-wide, Mobilecom came and put a small tower on one of the light poles up near the press box, kind of demoing some radios for transportation ends, so Trevor Heil with the Hamilton Fire Department brought the ladder truck and was able to get that small antenna mounted on the light pole for them. We're starting outside cleanup now that the weather is finally turning, minus what's happening outside right now. We are getting some of the equipment serviced to gear up for mowing season and or summer. The 2009 F-350 is advertised on Municipid if anyone is interested. It is up to $7,000. I do have that reserve at $8,000. I think it's should be done the 31st or the 30th of this month. We still have a little bit of time. It'll kind of bid up closer to the end. For renovations, the football field, we kind of went over a little bit of that stuff tonight. The auditorium, the speakers are installed. There is one of them that was damaged, I believe, in transport. They were able to get a replacement. It was nothing that was dropped or anything during install. Just whenever they tested it, it did not pass inspection. So that'll be through Doble. Doble does the sound system in the auditorium, so they'll be replacing that one. VLS did get the rigging up for the lights. Nancy kind of went over some of that in her presentation. Most of that's on the stage, and then the beams kind of above the seating area. No lights or anything are installed yet, just the rigging part. For the track renovations, they were able to come in and do the minor milling. That's just to get where the overlap seam was for the 2 passes of the paver, just to kind of get that touched up whenever they put that final coating in that is the right thickness. Everything went smoothly with that. We're just kind of waiting on the weather, obviously, and the temperature has to be consistently 50 degrees and more and higher. So that is the limiting factor. We're all kind of anxious to get that started, but with the warranty and the coating style, that all has to be a certain temperature. the guy in charge of that did say that'll be like a 2-week process, so once they are on site, from pulling into the parking lot and leaving, will be roughly 2 weeks for the coating and line painting. He's gonna get us some renderings for the line painting. Did he get that over to us yet?
No, not yet.
Okay. They're gonna send like a couple schematics of how we want the painting, if we want a logo or anything like that. So once David gets that, I'm sure we'll pass that on. And to end, the new track mats that we purchased last fall, I believe sometime, they're set to be delivered this week. So once we get those in, we'll get them checked out. I think we're gonna try to at least do a little bit of practicing here at AC Valley. So once those come in, we'll get those into service. That's all I have.
Thank you. Wes, can you do miscellaneous for us, please?
Yeah. Career Center report?
I was not at the last meeting, Bob. Were you able to attend?
No, I guess the biggest thing, we hired a new director. I don't know, he doesn't start till April.
Right, yeah, sometime in April, I think is when his start date was.
Sorry.
Intermediate unit report?
We had our February meeting, not a whole lot to report. We had some personnel changes, and we are continuing our search for an executive director, assistant executive director. So that's an ongoing process, which is, I think, our biggest hurdle right now is getting new leadership in pending Mike's retirement. And our next meeting is this Wednesday.
Board meetings are attached. Correspondence?
It's just in your packet, Wes, it's just from PD, as far as our local audit, they approved it.
Technology committee?
We have not met.
Athletic committee?
No meeting.
Financial committee?
No meeting.
Football field committee?
Planning a meeting?
The first week of April. Football field, you heard most of everything that we had going on this evening.
And auditorium committee, but I'm guessing we got that at the beginning as well.
Question on the football field. I should have brought this up when Jeff was here. I guess we're leaning towards sod as opposed to seeding.
Yes, that's part of the RFP.
Do we have okay, we don't have any pricing, I guess, until it goes out to bid, or?
What Amos had recommended was he had suggested that the sod was $75,000 and it would be roughly $35,000 with seed. Jeff recommended sod, to quote him, every day of the week and twice on Sunday, 18 months of growth, and it's a better product for what we need right now.
Okay. And I guess when that goes out to bid, there'll be, the sod will be bid, the sod plus, because there was discussion before about the expense of trucking the sod in, and I assume that'll be included.
From what I understand, that's everything. That's tracking
Okay.
in the cost of sod, everything. That's the final cost that they projected, with gas prices rising right now, I'm not sure.
Well, I've heard projections up to $200,000 for sod, that's why I was wondering. So, thank you.
And Jeff had worked with Amos and Alex to draft up that RFP so that we can get out, be very, very specific on the contractors that'll come down and lay down that sod. Sure.
Anything for old business? Under new business, we do have an item that we need to add there. We need to have a discussion about the marching band uniforms. The approval with that or not approval, we want to make a motion, but we need to have a discussion about that.
I think, given that we haven't replaced those uniforms for 20 years, I think we kind of owe it to the band. And, Logan is doing a great job, along with Union's band director. I know as a parent of a football player, it was great to see the band perform in such great numbers again this past year. I think they deserve it. So I think we need to, I don't see a need to delay it. I think we owe it to the kids.
Second.
I guess I was making a motion.
So
Yes,
moved.
you were, Carrie, thank you.
Yeah.
To approve the moving forward with purchasing of the uniforms. So moved.
Second.
Moving a second, any other discussion?
Is there any political pressure that we could put on Union School Board?
I think with the approval here tonight, I think that would be.
I think that'll do
Yeah.
it, I mean, to be honest.
And I'll contact Dr. Kimmel tomorrow morning
Yeah.
and get him moving on it.
And it seemed to be that they just wanted them to get some other pricing before they committed to one particular price, but they were in favor of proceeding, unless I got the wrong.
Because he said about not doing a letter.
No, they didn't want to vote to, the way I understood, they didn't want to vote to approve to purchase them until July, but they were okay with doing the letter of intent now.
I don't think so, Brady. I think they said.
Yeah, it was,
Oh, okay, I misunderstood
They
him.
were
that's what I-
against doing a letter of intent.
Oh, I didn't.
Wasn't sure if
I
they
didn't get
were
it.
willing to do a letter of intent.
and that's what.
Oh,
we did.
okay.
Yeah, I
There's
got-
still some question there about whether.
Yeah, I'll try to nudge him along. And thank you for that vote.
Any other discussion?
The old uniforms, what are we doing with those?
You can have them.
I don't want them.
There you
We'll give
go.
him to Dave.
Well, you may want to wait until
Yeah.
the
Yeah,
new
for
uniforms come in.
Yeah.
Get
Yeah,
rid
you're
of
right.
any
You're
old
right.
uniform.
Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstention? Motion carried.
Uh,
Motion for adjournment.
No, what about the Children's Summer Feeding Initiative that we had the program for tonight?
That's embedded in the agenda. We approved it.
Oh, okay. My apologies. It was in there. Okay. Yeah, it's the consent.
Okay, all right.
Motion to adjourn.
All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We are going to break for executive session regarding personnel and contracts with no voting action to follow.